guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a look using only one color of eyeshadow. I'm going to do two examples, one with a matte and one with a shimmer on each of my eyes, so I'm going to look a little crazy. But I thought this was a good tutorial to show you guys because it's very simple. It's great for a beginner. It's also great for when you're having a spoony day and you want to put on some makeup, but you don't feel like doing something more complicated. I am going to be using, for this tutorial, ColourPop. Let's see if I can get this to like show up okay with the lights. This is the palette called Mare, which is the ocean. It's a beautiful palette. I got it at Ulta. It was 12 bucks, but I used a coupon, so I got it for like $9. I'm a huge ColourPop fan. They're vegan, cruelty-free. I've never had a reaction to any of their products, which is really saying something given the fussy nature of my immune system due to my illness. So I'm a big believer in ColourPop. Not sponsored, just a huge, huge fan. If you need to buy a single color of eyeshadow, you just want to buy one pan, you don't want to invest a lot of money in eyeshadow, they do sell individual pans. You can buy them at Ulta, you can buy them from colourpop.com. I will put links down below for them. They are not affiliate links, they're just links to the company's sites. I would highly recommend buying even a single pan of their eyeshadow as a starter. The color payoff is really great, the wear time is really great. They just make a beautiful product. So, for today's tutorial, you're going to need a color of eyeshadow. You're going to need two brushes. And we're going to try to keep this as simple and basic as possible. So you're going to need some kind of a fluffier brush that isn't so densely packed. Let's see if I can get this to show up. So you can either use something like this, or you can use a more pointed crease brush. Excuse me, I can't talk. And then you're going to need something for packing on. So a more flat, dense brush. So these are the two basics that we're going to use today. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. We could definitely amp up and complicate the application with more brushes, but like I said, we're trying to stay simple. Optional products that I am using that you don't have to use, I'm using Makeup Revolution's eye primer. This is an eyeshadow primer that you put in your eyes to help lock in the color. You can use concealer for this step. I would recommend putting something on your eyes as a first step. It makes the application smoother and it also helps your eyeshadow to stay in place a lot longer. The other optional thing that I'm using is this setting spray. It's by NYX. It's the dewy finish. It doesn't really matter which finish you pick for this. The only reason why I'm using this is I bought it to use on my face and it was great for like the first month, and then I started having some issues, which is not a reflection on NYX at all. They tend to make fantastic products. Like I said, my skin can just be a little sensitive sometimes. So rather than throwing it out, I slipped it over into using it with my eyeshadow, and I've not had any issues like reactions around the eyes or anything like that. Like I said, they make a good product. I'm just a little sensitive. And then last but not least, I'm using these eye shields by e.l.f. These are not my favorites. I'm actually going to link the ones that I like to use down below. Those will go to my Amazon store, which means that is an affiliate link. I'm out of them, and I wanted to do this tutorial today, and so I literally ran into Target and picked up the e.l.f. ones. The e.l.f. ones are really nice. They just don't quite have the same shape. I prefer the more curved shape. I think it's easier. Okay, so now that we've got all our stuff, I'm going to bring the camera in really close so you can see what I'm doing, and let's get started putting on some makeup. Okay, I'm going to start off with my Leslie Dense Packed, my fluffy brush, and I am going to go in using this color right here called Boozy, which is a matte kind of orangish brown. I'm going to tape it in, take it in, tap it off very lightly. As you can see, there's a lot of color on the brush. This is why I really like ColourPop. There's a pretty high color payoff. So I'm just going to lightly go over the eyelid, up into the crease just a tiny bit, and out into the corner a little bit. Now for this step, it's better to go lighter and have to do it more than once than to go heavy and have to take some back off. If you do accidentally go too heavy, you can always use a clean brush to try to blend it out, or a makeup sponge to try to pull some back off. Okay, so I've got a nice even coverage there. Hopefully that didn't go all blurry on me. So now I'm going to take my denser brush and my setting spray. I'm going to wet the brush. Okay, yeah. Now you can see I've picked up a lot of pigment here just from wetting the brush. I'm going to take this to the outer corner of my eye, and I'm going to work from the outer corner kind of in towards the middle using a wiping, like a windshield wiping motion, very gentle. You don't want to drag, like you don't want to push or pull, right, because the skin's very delicate right here. And a lot of times you'll be able to get 2 pickups off of one spray because this spray lasts a little bit. And I'm going to take it a little bit into the corners and kind of up a tiny bit as well. Now I am very paranoid because I am not a 20-year-old about when I get colors into the corners of my eyes, because my skin there is not always super taut. And so sometimes you can get pigment that settles funky into the creases of the corners of your eyes. So if that happens, just take your lighter brush and kind of blend it out. So another trick is that while this shadow is still wet, you can actually take some dry shadow and pack back on top. That wet pigment's gonna grab on and intensify, just like if you were using the wet brush. Okay. So you could keep doing this until you feel like the outer eye is bumped out enough. I feel like it's bumped out enough for me. Let me turn so you can. So now all I'm going to do is take my denser brush again. At this point it's pretty much dry. I'm going to pick up a little bit of pigment on the very, very tip of it, and I'm going to use it to smoke out my under eye. Now this is where the tapes do come in really helpful, because you don't have to worry so much about fallout. And I'm going to connect it up into this sort of little wing that I've done. Now if you had a smaller brush, like a fine pointed brush, and you wanted to do the under eye with that, that's fine. I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. Okay. Let's do it this way. All right. So there we go. Matte side is done. So I'm going to go ahead and do, excuse me, goodness. I had a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. I'm going to go ahead and do the shimmer side now. I'm going to probably put this part of the video on fast forward since you've already seen me do this technique. I will say shimmers are a bit fussier than mattes for doing this technique, so you might see me work a little more trying to get even coverage on the first go around. So just be aware when you try this technique at home, shimmers might take just a tiny bit more practice than the mattes. It's just been my experience. Okay, so here we go. Shimmer side. Hi guys, Bianca here. So I was going over the footage and I realized I forgot to tell you what color I was going to use for shimmer. So I'm using this middle color right here. It's called Gridlock. Okay, so now back to the regular video. Sorry about that.
guys, as I was reviewing the footage, I realized that my camera had cut out for the very last little bit of that tutorial. This is actually my 4th time attempting to record this. I've had a lot of technical problems, and I decided that rather than re-recording the other side of my eye again, I would simply tell you guys, I finished it out just like I did the first side, putting a little bit of shadow underneath, and then I'm going to insert a couple stills of what both the eyes look like finished so that you can see. I apologize for all the technical problems. I'm hoping to get it sorted before I shoot my next video, and I appreciate all of your patience. Thank you.
Okay, so here we are, pulled out a little bit of mascara on. So all I'm wearing today right now is concealer, mascara, eyeshadow, and a little bit of eyeshadow base. That's it. No blush, no foundation, no nothing else, just as an FYI. The mascara I opted to use today is by Milani. It's their highly rated mascara. It's a good mascara. I like this a lot. I would recommend it. I will put a link in the description box down below for you guys. So that's it. Very simple. 1 eyeshadow color, 2 brushes, a little bit of water or some setting spray, and some mascara if you want it. And you've got a very simple smoked out smoky eye. I hope this was helpful. If you have a second, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when I upload new videos. You can also follow me over on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. I tend to post what I'm working on, and I also put up polls for ideas for what you guys would like to see. I'm going to try to post about 3 times a week depending upon my health, so that might vary. Fingers crossed that my health stays well. And I hope all of you are doing well and that you are having a happy, restful day and are remembering that self-care is the most important form of care. Bye guys.